Hello everyone, this is Real Talk with Matthew and
the Morning Star. And we're here for Real Talk take 4. It's the 4th one we've done.
4th one we've done, but this episode,
I
don't know,
20
something.
In a long galaxy far, far away.
So,
what's on the talk agenda today?
I don't know, today's Sunday, and I went to church this morning.
Yeah.
Woke up, went to the gym, went to church, and I met with some friends. They said something about calling, about meeting me up there yesterday, but they didn't call me this morning. Then I'm walking into there, and the van rolls by. I don't recognize. They start screaming, "Hey, wait on us!" Blah blah blah. It was them.
No.
It was him and his girlfriend and his sister. So I had some company at church today. It was nice. So usually I just go up there by myself.
Nice.
Yeah, the pastor had a good lesson on how, the requirements of praying, and then he went off into some other stuff. And I'm gonna stay away from the ending of it. I wasn't really. It's just something that bothers me sometimes. He was a TV preacher. He was like a guest preacher, so there's just some stuff I don't agree with some of these TV preachers. Some of the stuff.
Say it. Real talk, man. Real talk.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll go ahead then. I like this church where they do baptisms like they do them pretty much every Sunday while we're doing our worship. You see them on videotape, they're baptized. They baptized like probably 7 people this morning.
Wow.
But then at the end, the guest preacher got on there and asked a bunch of people if they'd want to, want to accept Jesus or whatever. And then he did the sinner's prayer, which that's totally opposite of what we started off with. We started off with the baptism, and then he goes in the sinner's prayer. The sinner's prayer is nowhere in the Bible. It's a made-up thing for TV evangelists. That started, I don't know when it started. I need to do some research on that, but it's not biblical. But these big churches do that. The TV preachers do it, and then it was just really weird that we started off with the baptism, then we end up with that something totally opposite.
Yeah, I don't even know what that. Never even heard of that.
What, the sinner's prayer?
Yeah.
It's something they say you're born again, but if you read the Bible, it talks about Nicodemus. How Nicodemus was born again. He's asking Jesus how to be born again. It talks about baptism. It doesn't say this. Let's hold hands and say this little prayer, and you're saved. It doesn't say that. So I don't know. I guess it's a hot topic for me, and some people believe it, and
gets you angry.
It does a little bit.
Gets you fired up, boy.
Because it's not in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, man. I get that. But you gotta remember too, there was no Bible years ago. So, you know what I'm saying? There was no, hey, that's not in page 86, 2,000 years ago. So, I mean, somebody walked around talking about something, you were like, wow, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the problems with mankind is they get a book and then they're like, it's done. So it's like, God's dead now, we got the Bible. He can't say nothing else. Because if he says anything that's against the Bible, then it's not God. And I mean, I'm pretty sure God said a lot of stuff throughout the years that differed from the first time. It does it in the Bible. He does it in the Bible. One man he's killing people for something. Next man he's like, I think I was a little too harsh on this. Right? So, somebody changed that. And somebody was mad when that got changed. You better believe it.
I don't know. I just
traditionals, man. Tradition.
I don't know. So I've been jumping around different churches for the past I guess about 3 years. And I really thought this one was doing pretty good to us. But like I said, it was a guest preacher. So we'll see how it keeps going with that. I mean, there's 2 other churches I really like a lot. The one in Three Circle in Fairhope, that preacher's real good, and the one up here, Anchor Point's good. I wish the old man would just stay at New Life in Christ. It's that one by the Presbyterian Church, you know, here in Foley. There's that other church beside it. He does like a food pantry and he pays for all the Bibles for all the prisoners in the state of Alabama.
Oh,
He
really?
provides all the Bibles. I didn't know that. I went to church for a little while.
That's cool.
But he's so old, like he really can't even do it no more. He has guest people in there all the time, and he's probably the best one that I've seen, like around here.
Cool.
Yeah, but he's just, I think he's like 90 or something. Or he's in his 80s.
Why don't you go there?
He don't preach no more, really.
Oh, okay.
I guess every time you go there, there's a different preacher.
They're trying to fill that out or something.
I don't know. They need to just go ahead and find one to keep to him if he's not going to be the everyday pastor. But it ain't none of my business. It ain't my church. You know, that's how they want to do
Yeah,
it.
man. I mean,
How they want to do it, I let them do it.
exactly.
But that's the reason why I don't go there, because it's just, you never know what you're going to get when you go there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I seen. You know, me and Nick watched the Super Bowl last week, and I seen at the end where the Mahomes, he gave the glory to God. So I really liked that. You know, that was pretty cool. I remember I liked him for some reason. I don't really watch football, but I remember there was some. You know, you hear people not liking the guy, and I always like sort of take up because I don't really watch none of them no more. But like I remember there was something I liked about him. That's what it was. Because anytime I see an athlete do that, then it makes me feel good because they know they couldn't did it without God. So I know I can't do nothing without God. I mean, I do stuff, but it's only because I'm allowed to or that I've been blessed with stuff.
It's humble. It's nice. You know?
Yeah.
To humble yourself, it's an amazing thing. Have you ever heard of somebody that's very stingy, and then one day they gave away something, and the next thing you know, they're giving everything away? Yeah, it happens a lot. Because they feel that power of helping someone else or, you know, having something outside of yourself. To live a life all wrapped up in yourself, it's a sad world, man. Trust me. If you live in that world, I feel bad for you. I really do, because I just see it. It sucks.
Yeah, I try to do what I can for people. Like I've even talked about though. Sometimes you can do too much for people, and you enable them to just keep doing what they're doing. So like there's a line you got to draw with how much you will help somebody, because at some point they have to help themselves. I learned that in Al-Anon. Remember you had me.
Yeah, well, going to any lengths to help one individual out is not really being helpful. That seems to be like, you know, you're trying to get something for it.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I helped this one person, so I'm good. You know, and helping people is not really, it's not really something that you do, you know. I mean, there are a lot of people that try to do that, but there are people out there that can't help it. They can't help but to reach out, to lend a hand, you know. And more than anything, I think, you know, the world needs to ignite these people because they're losing hope. A lot of the world seems to be like just becoming very protected and inward, what do they call it, introverted, just to protect themselves because the world has got to, you know,
Social media
Armageddon.
hadn't helped out the introverted stuff either. It's caused a lot of social anxiety from like younger people. So I work in the restaurant and work in like different fields with this. Like I worked in a living facility and hospital now, and what I see out of some of the younger generation is that they don't get out and socialize like when we was young.
Yeah.
We got out and played in the yard. And played like my uncle would lock the door and tell us we couldn't come back till it got dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the water hose if you get thirsty. We'll bring you some food out and then bring hot dogs or something out and make us eat out there under there's like a little, I guess, umbrella.
Gazebo type
Yeah,
thing.
something.
Yeah.
But we had to stay outside. The only time we got to stay inside was when it was raining, and we got stuck playing poker with him, with a bunch of quarters and stuff. There was no video games till the end of the night. They couldn't. They didn't really let you play the video games till it got dark. Now that's all the kids do. They get on the internet, and they've got internet friends that they may not even ever met before. So like, a lot of these kids hadn't even seen their friends. They've got friends, but they hadn't never actually seen them in real life. I've got some friends like that I've made over the internet that I've never even met.
It's pretty funny. I was just sitting there thinking about it. It's like we started out society with no homes, living, in a tree hut. Now people don't go out of their homes. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, but it's bad. I've been cooped up pretty much, except for when I come do these videos with Matthew, and maybe a few other times I get out of the house. And it's starting to get to me. It's starting to truly affect like my mental capacity, because I haven't been able to walk very good for years now, but I still got outside, And so I've been like 3 weeks, I think it was probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks that I didn't even see the sunlight. And I was like, man, I gotta stand at the door and just open the door or something, because it's not good. It's not good for the mental health, and I think the sunlight does something to our bodies to help. It's vitamin K or something. I can't remember all the scientifics of it, but
I know my dogs get cagey. They get cagey. They're like, if I don't take them to the dog park every day, they get angry with me. They want to get out and socialize. They got their little buddies and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we need that social interaction. I'm glad I've started going to church, back. I don't really do as many of the AA meetings. I was going to go to one today, but I got there like 2 hours early, and I just said, I forget it. I'm just going to go pick you up and do this video.
What time is it?
It should have been at 2 o'clock.
What time is it?
It's 2:40.
Oh.
Something like that.
But yeah, social interaction is very important, but more than that, it's just, getting yourself outside is so important.
I know, back towards the end of my drinking, I stayed in the house. I would get a bottle and come in the house, and I wouldn't go out to no clubs or no bars or nothing like that, and I wouldn't even have people over. I'd just be at the house.
Exactly.
With my dog, and that was it. She didn't get to go nowhere. It was like me and her and whatever was going on inside the house. And I went to work. I worked a lot of hours back then, though. I was working like something like 60 or 70 hours a week, and it was a miserable life. I'm glad that chapter of my life is over, because it was just a miserable existence that I wish upon nobody. So if anybody's feeling that way and is going through that, I pray you reach out, to somebody. You can get a hold of me, or they'll get you to a meeting or to the church. They got different recovery programs at the church now. I signed up for some group that I didn't know that's what it was, but evidently it's sort of something like that. And I was the only man. There's only like 2 other men in the group. There's like 40 women and 3 guys. And I thought I was in the wrong group. I was like, am I in the right group? Because I thought, I was like, man, maybe these 2 guys are gay, and maybe something. I didn't know, because I've never been in it
was like a knitting class or something?
I didn't know what it was, but evidently it was some kind of recovery thing. The woman was doing it was like in her 70s, and she said she used to shoot heroin. She was telling a little story.
Yeah, it's always funny when you see like the older people. Because you think of I think of older people, I think of like my grandma and grandpa.
She looks like a grandma!
I don't think of grandma and grandpa like chopping out lines and shooting heroin and like rolling dice.
And she was talking about she used to be a whore.
Oh yeah.
She used to prostitute herself out, and I'm like, oh my God.
I talked to a couple of women in the program, and I just was chatting with them, and they're like, oh, I loved your story. That reminded me of that time I was at Vegas and I had 3 different boyfriends. And I'm like, what? I thought of you as like, you want to make cookie? And the chick is like rocking and rolling. I was like, man, damn.
I know the lady you're talking about. I'm not going to mention her name, but I think I know the lady you're talking about. She used to be a poker dealer in Vegas.
No.
Not
There's
her?
a couple. Yeah, I know so many people. It's ridiculous.
But you look at her and you're like, she looks like a sweet.
Nah, that lady that you're talking about, I look at her and I go, yeah, I bet you was wild as shit. She don't look like no sweet ass girl. I'm looking at her going, I don't even want to know the stories that live in your mind. Yeah. She's awesome though.
She's a cool lady.
Yeah. But no, she definitely does not give me a Golden Girl vibe at all. You know, like I'm talking like them Golden Girls type vibe that look like, oh, hey, sweetie, how are ya? You know.
That's like the one I seen this morning. I think I told
And then you hear them talk about like they lived in a trap house and peed in a bucket, and you're like, what? Oh. It's like, yeah, I was like the drug mom, and it's like, what? I don't want to hear no more. I want to think of you like grandma. Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's funny, man. Recovery is very. It's a. If I could say anything about recovery, this is the one thing that I could say to tell someone that's looking to get into recovery or at the end of the rope. The one biggest fear I had of recovery was I would lose my personality. You know, it was like if I don't have booze or alcohol or drugs, you know, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna become boring. I'm gonna be like, hello everyone, my name is Mr. Recovery. And that was far from the case. You know, most people that ran into me sober, they were like, dude, you are crazier sober than you were when you were drinking, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I drank to be like y'all, to fit in.
I was thinking it was going to be like that too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that fear. They're
Yeah.
going to lose a part of themselves that will never come back if they quit drinking.
So
I
I think the first and only time I've been in a bonfire since I got sober was at your house. It really wasn't a bonfire; it was burning stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was me, you, and Clayton, and somebody else. I forgot who I was there, but that was the first time I was like, well, I guess I can. You know, it felt different because I hadn't been sober that long at that particular point. You know, usually you think about bonfires and stuff, you get there getting drunk, sloshed, and just burning shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so then my buddy Greg had a yacht. I was able to get on the yacht twice, and you're thinking for sure if you're going on a yacht, get some bunch of females and a couple bottles of booze. No, it was just me and the guys. You know, none of us was drinking nothing. Just out there, having
a good time.
Having a good time. It was really. That wasn't what I expected. If somebody had told me that I was going to get to go on a yacht twice when I was younger, I would never imagine it would have been like that, but it was better because I remembered everything.
You remember things.
And I got to see the Blue Angels.
And plus you don't sit there and go, was I the problem? I remember the cops showed up, but was it me? And then you're like digging through your pocket looking for citations or tickets. And then you go, oh, what me? Thank God. And then you find out later, they're like, hey, did you go back to the courthouse? They're looking for you. You're like, it was me. So, I mean, trust me, I did some stuff. I don't even remember. I'm like, I don't even know how I could have did that. I remember waking up in my chef uniform behind the wheel of the car with the keys still on. The car ran out of gas. I left it running. I put it in park and it just ran out of gas while I'm sleeping in it. I'm like, God.
That happened to me one time when I was really young. First time I ever took Xanax.
Yeah.
They gave me I ended up eating 5 bars. And that's like way too much. That's way too much for anybody, much less for somebody that's like 18 that ain't never took them. I remember falling down the front door steps and they threw me in the back of my car and we went mushrooming.
Wow.
And I remember waking up in the high school parking lot and my Toyota Tercel with the lights on. I was in the back seat and the 2 people was in the front seat asleep. And the janitors came and knocked on the door and woke us up and jumped us off and let us go.
That's cool.
It was.
You got lucky on that one.
It was really, them janitors was really cool at the school, but whew, I don't know. I don't even remember what happened that night. I know I lost the entire night.
Yeah, I can bet. 5 Xanax. Yeah. I took half of one of them things. I'd be like,
I'm sort of glad it happened that way though, because I didn't really never want to take them ever again. Maybe I tried one or two, but I never did really. I was never a pillhead.
Me either.
I think the couple times that I did try, I think I tried this Suboxone when they first came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I got so sick off of it. I'm like, who wants this?
Yeah.
It just makes you sick.
I didn't even know about that stuff before I got sober.
So I was blessed on a couple of experiments that I had tried. You know, some of them not so much.
Yeah.
Some of them was not so bad, or it wasn't even really bad at all. And I wish I just had you know, it'd been nicer if I'd had bad experiences with them up front, but it wasn't. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I know they've opened up another Big Fish, or they're opening one up in Bay Minette because the church was talking about. I guess that church must support Big Fish a lot. The one I was at today. So they was asking for they need some help up there or something. So I don't know if anybody want to contact that church that I was at today. It's what is that one? The Summit. I guess they help out with the Big Fish Ministries. That's a recovery house. They do women and men, don't they?
I don't know.
I mean, not the same location, but I think they have different locations. They have I think a thrift store too.
Yeah, they got I know they have a thrift store. I've been to that, and I know they have the people that live in the houses work at them. So, because I came into them thrift stores and ran into a couple of school friends. They're like, hey, bro! And I'm like, hey! Yeah. But, yeah. They're like, yeah, I'm in here, I'm doing my time, they got me working here, it's pretty cool. That's a cool thing, man. Anybody is helping the community out, try to get back on their feet, get food, get drinks, get shelter, you know, jobs, money. There's nothing wrong with that at all, ever, period, unless you're harvesting their kidneys. Yeah, we want to help you. Get him, Matthew, get him. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, there's no way to go wrong with that, to help somebody else out, you know.
I hear the lawnmower's up. It's
You might as well cut it.
It's I'll let it go a few more minutes.
So anyway, we're in an airplane right now. We're flying over the Bahamas.
And I guess it's lawnmower season now. I guess I see my grass is looking like it needs to be trimmed up. I've got to get my lawnmower. I tried to crank it 2 weeks ago and it wouldn't crank.
Oh snap!
So we'll see. I've got 2 lawnmowers in there, and I know one of them I bought because the grass had got. This happened like this. It was sort of getting a little creeping up, and I waited too late, and I couldn't get the lawnmower cranked, so I had to go buy one. So I need to get on that probably today. Trying to get it cranked at least.
Definitely, most definitely.
But yeah, how was the chicken piccata? I did a chicken piccata video last night.
It was good.
It
was good. It was the chicken was perfect, but the piccata part, the lemon and the capers and stuff with the noodles, you know, that part was all right. It wasn't the best I've ever had, but it wasn't the worst either.
Well, it was cold when I got it.
Yeah, it was cold, so you gotta eat that. That's kind of like dish to the table.
Yeah, you gotta make that to order.
Yeah, that's why I don't sell microwavable chicken piccata.
Because it breaks, the sauce will break if you don't.
Yeah.
We used to make that stuff to order at Gilby's. It was a pain in the butt. Making one little order of it every time somebody.
It's the best way to make it. That's why it tastes so good when you make it individual.
You got to.
Yeah, if you make it in a big, large batch, it screws it up.
But yeah, so I did that video, and I did my lesson on David and Goliath the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've had it's like Goliath is something that pops up every so often in our lives. It's like blocking us from, where we need to be at. Yes, you know, David wasn't even supposed to be there. He was over there delivering food. I forgot about that part. When I was reading the story, his dad sent him to take some cheese and some bread and something else to the king, and then to check on his brothers. He was just an errand boy that day. He wasn't nothing but an errand boy. They started picking on him. He said, "I'll go fight that giant." You know, he said, "I'll go fight him," and then they started making fun of him even more. Not really making fun of him. They was talking mess to him. And then he went out there and killed Goliath. You know, you never know who's going to step up. You know, maybe you'll be the one to step up today.
It's you.
Yeah, maybe it'll be somebody watching the video that decides.
No, maybe. It's you. You are the one to step up today. Yes.
It don't matter where you've been at or what you've done or any of that stuff. Today can be the day that you change somebody's life.
Or your own life.
Or your own life. So,
change is not that hard. It takes courage, though.
Oh, I can know it, yeah, because like they was grown men that was warriors. That was like, I ain't gonna go fight him. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, why didn't like 10 of them bum rush him? Evidently, they was just scared. Everybody was scared. Mm-hmm. Nobody was so it's like it was just a big, overwhelming task. So if you got something that's overwhelming, that you see in front of you that like you think there's no way I can take care of this, or no way I can get rid of it, or no way I can cope anymore, just give it to God. Give it to God.
Give it to God.
Give it to God. And
don't hesitate. If you think of the name God in your head, or I should talk to God, or have I talked to God today? That's too much. Just go ahead and do it. Just be like, God, blah. Hey, that's why I love the best stories I love in the Bible are the people who loved God the most, because most of them were damn heathens.
David ended up being one. That's why
David is the heathen of heathens, and he was the king. But why did God love him more than anyone? Why?
Said he was a God after man.
No, because he got drunk in the middle of the streets. He got drunk. He didn't turn into a tyrant. He didn't go, I'm drunk and every one of you will die. He got drunk and would get butt naked and run around the streets talking about how great God is. And the whole town's like, David's on one again. Hey, but he loves God. And God's up there like, my boy. I mean, that's why. Because that's all his heart was filled with was God. But he was still a man. And he did bad things.
It's this flesh we live in. This flesh is wicked. And
it's not the end of the world. There ain't nobody perfect. But the fact of the matter is that if you put God first, he will provide for you. He will protect you and keep you on the right path. You know, if you go to church once every Sunday and they don't even mention God's name and they go, I went to church and all this stuff's going wrong, well, you know, you got to put his name first.
Have a relationship.
The buildings of churches are nothing.
Yeah. So what I learned about when I was down there in mission was the guy starts asking what was the first church? Was it the Catholic? Was it the Church of Christ? Blah blah blah. He said no. It was a relationship. It was when Adam and Eve was in the garden with God. They had a relationship with God. Yeah. So that was the first actual religion. Was a relationship, and that's where it needs to be. It's like this. Everybody gets wrapped up, like I was getting wrapped up earlier about that crazy little prayer, you know.
Yeah.
People fight over this stuff, and I guess it's just best not to fight about it and just pray to God and let God guide you.
Well, that's where Jesus actually changed that. And a lot of people don't understand that, because nowadays we go think Jesus, you think, Jesus, loving fairy, happy, hippie, you know, but that pissed a lot of people off. Because they said, you can't speak outside of the church. And he said, where one or more are gathered in my name or my Father's name, there's your church.
Because that's the way it was in the beginning.
Hypocrite, blasphemer.
That's the way it was at the beginning, though. It was God and Adam and Eve.
Henceforth, once again, man likes to make up its own new rules and then go, that matters. Whatever God thinks now doesn't matter because we got this road. And you know what? He'll send a tornado for your ass if he feels like it.
Yeah.
He'll tell you church right down. You can bet on that because ain't nothing written in stone. And it says that. That's why Jesus Christ himself said, do not worry about the gospel. Write the gospel on your heart. For the word is living, which means it moves. It changes. Right? And it's not the world we live in right now, where they say, this is it, this is the way it is, and that's why we're in the world we're in right now, to where a lot of people are saying, here's the famine, here's the pestilence, here's all these things that are coming, the end of times are near, yada, yada, yada. Okay? Well, that's where you need to open your ears and listen to God and grow a relationship with God and Jesus. And the Bible is there to help shepherd you. Okay? If God comes to you and says something to you, but it's not in the Bible, it doesn't mean that you're wrong or you're a devil. But you're probably going to get called it because that's what people are. And if anyone thinks that, Jesus Christ was the Antichrist. But there was no Christ to be antied with yet. But they called him a devil. They shunned him and they murdered him on a cross with spears. Let's not forget that. These were preachers. These were Pharisees. These were the people that were in charge of the church of God, the Almighty God of Abraham. Okay, so people are not easily swayed, and God has a hard time getting to them. The more electronics they're sitting in front of, the more TV they're watching, the more they're not paying attention to nature around them. There's a distinct relationship in our world spiritually. It is God and Mother Nature. Okay? Those two things put together can cause some serious havoc. So whether you want to listen or not, that's up to you. But the Bible and your church are your refuge. That's your sanctity. That's where you go. But if your preacher tells you that God's stupid and God's calling you for something, well, I'd hate to be that guy, you know. So that's all I've got to say.
Yeah, so that was something I was thinking when you say,
You have to cut me off. It happens.
I forgot what it was that you were saying, but I had, I thought, anyways, I guess we're going to sort of wrap this episode up. It was, we went around all around the world and got back on something. I don't know. It was
Chicken piccata. It happens.
Anyway.
Chicken piccata is good sometimes, Matthew.
All right. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Thank you for being with us. Share, subscribe.
Share, subscribe. Yep.